Hello, and in this video I want to have a look at the other sexual offences covered by the Sexual Offences Act 2003. So let me begin with the first thing I want to talk about, which is children. The Act was designed to protect children, so there are lots of offences. An example from memory you can find is in Section 5 of the Act. The whole idea is to protect children, and so there is no mens rea requirement. Therefore, this means that there is no defense of consent. So if you reasonably believe the person to consent or be a certain age, this does not apply in the case of children. The only mens rea that will exist is an intention to do, an intention to penetrate or an intention to sexually assault someone. So this is a key part of the Act. The next one I want to have a look at is Section 2, Assault by Penetration. And this is the actus reus. The actus reus involves sexual penetration, which is usually fairly obvious, of the vagina or anus, which is also fairly obvious, by a part of the defendant's body or any other object. This is significant because it means a woman can be convicted of assault by penetration contrary to Section 2 of the Act. And again, there must be no consent for this offence to apply. As we've discussed in the rape video, the same principles of no consent will apply. So we're looking at the application of the presumptions in 75 and 76. And the mens rea is intentional, so the aim or purpose to penetrate, and no reasonable belief of consent. But remember, this second part of the mens rea will not apply if a conclusive presumption is utilised. Then moving on to Section 3, we have sexual assault. This essentially means touching. So here is actus reus. This is where the victim is touched, and this touching must be sexual. So what do we mean by sexual touching? So in the case of court, basically the shopkeeper, he catches someone shoplifting and he believes, and he starts slapping her on the bottom and she's 12. Under the Act today, that would be a sexual assault because he confessed to having a buttock fetish. That was the exact words used. There must be no consent here, and again no reasonable belief in consent, which means that the presumptions in Section 76 and 75 apply, and it must be intentional touching, must be your aim or purpose to touch the person in a particular way. Then you have causing sexual activity without consent, which is covered under Section 4 of the Act. So what does this involve? So this involves the actus reus of causing the victim to engage in sexual activity. The activity must be sexual. Again, the ideas of sexual can be found in cases like Court or Kumar, where in Kumar, the defendant was found guilty because he went above the normal practices of doctors when examining when doing a breast examination. And then no consent, so as we discussed with the rape case. Before concluding, final point is it must be intentionally, must be your aim or purpose to cause that person to engage in sexual activity, and you must not have any reasonable belief that the person was consenting. So again, here we're referring to the presumptions found under Section 75 and Section 76. Thank you for watching.